All right. Assalamu alaikum again. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. That means, with Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Welcome to the Youth Weekend School of Masjid Muhammad, D.C., the nation's mosque, virtual summer programs. I'm your friendly neighborhood director of education, Farah Shakur Bridges, and I'll be your hostess with the absolute mostest today. Get your listening ears and your thinking caps ready for a most special treat. Today's Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math series features Sister Alia. She is presenting a scientific experiment called capillary action, or walking water, and an art project called The Amazing Doodle. Sister Alia has a background in health services and medical billing and coding, as well as maternity and childcare services. When she's not teaching, she enjoys sewing, exercise, and studying Al Islam. Sister Aaliyah and her husband Omar have four beautiful children. I want to remind you to mute yourselves, and if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the chat. Stay tuned to the end of our full lineup to hear our August activities. And be sure to email me any questions at ed@thenationsmosque.org. We'll repeat that. So I'm going to go ahead and return it over to Sister Aaliyah for her wonderful presentation.
All right. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Sister Alia, and today we'll be talking about capillary action, buoyancy, and density. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull my presentation up here. So capillary action experiment, that's what we're doing today. Another name for it is walking water. So how can we get water to walk? That's really interesting. So let's look. We're going to get to watch water as it moves or travels. And by doing so, it will create a beautiful rainbow. A beautiful rainbow. So what do we need to do this? I hope your parents have gotten everything together. I heard some of you all working on it in the background. You need 7 glasses. You can see I have 7 glasses behind me. You need some paper towels. We have some paper towels here. You need some food coloring, red, blue, and yellow. You see those colors? And you need water. As you can see, I've already gotten started with the experiment. I started putting water in them already. All right, I don't think you want to see me mess up with my water. So let's start. We're going to set it up. Step 1, line your glasses up on the table. All right, so line them up. I would suggest that when you line them up that you put them very close together so that they're touching. So make sure your glasses are touching. So parents, help out your scientists. Make sure that they have their glasses touching each other as well as they can. I know they have different shapes. All right. Also, I want you to consider that we're gonna count these glasses. All right. We're gonna label them with numbers in our head. So I've decided that the glass closest to me will be glass number 1, and I'm going to count forward from there. So this will be glass 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With that in mind, I want you to go ahead and fill with your water glass number 1, almost to the top with water. Can you see that? Let me hold it up so you can see. So I filled it up about 1 inch from the top. Okay. All right. So fill your first glass up with some water. All right. And I hope you got extra paper towels on the side. These are my extra ones right here. So you can wipe up the extra water. All right. Once you filled up glass number 1, go ahead and fill up glass number 3. So we count over 1, 2, glass number 3. Fill that one up with water. All right. I'll give you a moment to do that. Same amount, about the same amount of water. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. about 1.5 or inch from the top. All right, so that was 3, so 4, 5. Now fill up glass number 5. Same thing. We're just on glass number 5. All right, filling 5, 6, 7. And just fill up our last glass with water. Not all the way up, just enough. All right, let's put that back. Glasses are touching. Okay, so let's go on to step 2. Step 2, we're going to add food coloring to the glasses. So grab your red food coloring, okay? Take the top off. Be very careful because it is food coloring. And we're going to add 5 to 10 drops of food coloring to glass number 1. And then we're going to add it to glass number 7. So I'm going to go somewhere in the middle between 5 and 10. I'm going to put 7 drops in my first glass. So number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now I'm going to go over to glass number 7 and put 7 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and now you can put the top on of the red food coloring. All right, your food coloring should be spreading in the water. It's trying to get an equilibrium there. What's equilibrium? Get a balance, right? Balance between the color and the water. Now we're going to go into the yellow food coloring. We're going to put 15 drops of yellow food coloring into glass number 3. The yellow needs a little extra help. It really gets light in the water, so I'm going to put 15, so that's more than the other ones that we did. So let's go to glass number 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so count. We're going to put 15 in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. And let's put the top back on there. All right, there we go. Top's back on. And last but not least, we're going to put 5 to 10 drops of blue food coloring into glass number 5. So let's grab our blue. Okay, let's take the top off. All right, let's count over to glass number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's put, I'm going to put 7, but you have a choice between a number between 5 and 10. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, Bismillah, put the top back on. There we go. All right, isn't that pretty? Okay, let's go into step number 3. This part, we're going to get to use our hands some more. So I want you to take a paper towel. It doesn't have to necessarily be this size, but we're going to take the towel and we're going to hold it up so the lengthwise side is upward. Okay, and we're going to fold it in half. So as you can see, I'm folding it in half. All right, and I'm going to make a crease. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it in half again. Fold it down. All right, and then crease that bent edge. And we're going to fold it one more time. So now we have a nice fold. Okay, folded towel. And then we're going to take the towel and fold that in half and make like little legs. We're setting it up so the water can walk. Okay, so it looks like legs. Everybody see that? Yes. Now we're going to take our folded towel and we're going to put it in glass number 1 and glass number 2. All right, so we'll go ahead and do that. So stick it, push it all the way down as far as you can go. All right, let's get our next towel. I have about 6 of them ready. We're going to need about 6 of these. Okay, so here's the next one. Let's take it and fold it in half again. So we're doing the same thing again. Fold it. All right, and then crease it. All right, now let's fold it again. I'm going to fold it forward so you can see from that angle. All right, and then crease it. Let's fold it one more time. Fold it. Crease it. We crease it by pressing it down. So it'll stay. Now let's fold it in half to make our legs. Now we're gonna put this towel in glass 2 and in glass 3. All right, so we'll stick it down in there. There we go. All right, next towel. So we've done 2 so far. Let's do the next one. All right, you got your towel. Let's fold it. Good, now crease it. Fold it. And crease it. See how I'm pulling on it? That actually helps it crease better, makes it easier for you. Let's fold it one more time. It's really skinny. And crease it. Now let's fold that in half and make our legs. We're moving along too, along our glasses. All right, let's put it in glass number 3 and glass number 4. Okay, let's go on to our next towel. All right, ready? We're gonna fold it. Let's fold it in half. Some of you I know are faster than me. You're rolling over there. Let's just make sure we all get it done. Now we fold it again. After we've creased that one, fold it and crease it. Crease, crease. And if you have to put it on the table, you can do that. I don't know if you can see me. Like press it down and then fold it again and press it down and hold it up and make your legs. All right, and put it in glass number 4 and glass number 5. There we go, push it all the way down. All right, let's get our next napkin or towel, paper towel, and fold it. Put our ends together. Yep. Crease it. And let's fold it again. Fold. Yes. Doing our experiment. And crease it. And one more fold for this one. Really narrow. And crease it. Remember, you can always do it on the table. I know your arms might be getting tired if you're holding it up. Now make your legs. Again, the workout too, huh? MashaAllah. All right. Let's take your legs and put them inside of glass number 5 and number 6. And we have one more to go. We're running out of glasses. So hold it up, fold it. Nice. All right. Crease it. Fold it. This reminds me of origami. I don't know about you, but okay. I like origami. Fold it. Crease it. And one more. Fold it. Crease it. All right. Got your narrow strip. And we take it and fold it again to make our legs. All right. And let's put it in number 6 and number 7. Push it down so they're touching the bottom. All right. There we go. Nice. All right. So we did all of our cups. We're waiting to see what's going to happen. So let's just watch for a little bit. There we go. This is the fun part. Watch capillary action in motion as the water climbs up the paper towel. This is how the science experiment got its nickname, walking water. So as we look, what am I seeing here? I can see some of the blue. The blue is starting to move slowly, slowly up into the tissue. Can you all see that? Now blue is really dark. All right, so we're probably going to see that one first. What I suggest is you move your tissue around to help get the equilibrium that I mentioned, the balance. Move the tissue around to help the color really blend well with the water. And so we can even see more of the color come into the tissue. All right, so I'm doing the blue now. I'm helping it mix really well. All right, there we go. Yes. So now let's do the yellow. Let's move that yellow around. And as you can see, it's helping the water, the yellow water, move up into the tissue. You should, when you're filling the tissue, it should feel wet. Isn't that something? So why? So you should ask yourself, why is the tissue wet? That's like a really good question. So it's moving up. So you know that the water is moving. It's walking up the legs. All right, I'm gonna move the other tissue, the other yellow, other tissue that's in the yellow water. Okay, yes, there we go. We got some color going up. Very nice, very nice. Let's do the red one. If you want, if you want your colors to be a little richer, you can always add a little bit more. Remember, we had a range of color, a number of drops that we can put inside the water. So we're going to get that moving. Yes, my towel is nice and wet. MashaAllah. All right, very nice. All right, and let's do the last glass, number 7. There we go. Okay, so let's keep watching it and waiting for it to do its job. As you can see, the blue is really coming in to the tissue. It's really working. You can even just go ahead and add a few drops. I'm going to add like 2 more. That'll make mine 9, 8, 9. To the red, 8, 9. Make sure you put the top back on. And I'm going to add, no, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to let yellow do what it's going to do. Can you all see your colors? So let's go over what capillary action is. All right. Capillary action is the process in which a liquid moves up something solid, like this tissue here, like a tube, or into a material with a lot of holes. As you can see, if you hold up your paper towel to the light, you can see holes in it. Okay, I don't think you see my holes, but this has holes and I can clearly see holes in it when I hold it up to the light. So this happens when three forces called cohesion, adhesion, and surface tension work together. They have to all work together to make this happen. So water molecules are considered cohesive. They're cohesive. That means they stick to each other. They're very sticky. And they adhere or stick to the paper towel. A water molecule is like a very, very, very tiny part of water, right? It's like the basic structure of what water looks like. Just so you know, you've heard the word molecule, but that's what that is. So the water molecules stick or adhere to the paper towel. As one water molecule moves up the paper towel, it pulls the other water molecules with it. And the molecules pull each other along like a drawstring. Do we have a question? Okay.
Yes, there is a question that
Okay.
says, is there a way to reverse or undo the process to make the water walk off of the paper towels?
Um, Once the water goes into the paper towels, it's a one-way thing. There's a law that states that things go from less ordered to more ordered. I can't remember the name right now, but there's a law that states that. And this is an example of where things go in one direction. It's like our lives. Our lives go in one direction. We're headed towards Allah, and that's the path that Allah has for us. So in this particular case, unless you use some other method, like you dry them and all of that, but still the paper towels will never be the same again. So that's an excellent question. So my water is definitely walking. I've got some red walking water, some yellow walking water. and some blue walking water. I hope you all can see your water walking. So I want you to just think to yourself, what do you think will happen next? What do you predict or think will happen next? And I'm going to ask you to answer a question in the poll box. And I want you to let me know, what do yellow and blue make? If you have an idea, just answer the poll, do your best, and give me a guess. All right, so we'll wait and for about 30 seconds and give me your answer.
Actually, can you add your responses in the chat instead of the poll? Thank you.
Okay, so put your answers in the chat box. That'll be great. We'll see what we got. All right, let's work this water a little bit more over here. My towels are wet. I don't know about you guys, but they're wet. Just the very tips are, they still feel dry, which is great. The water is actually moving, being sucked up. They're adhering to each other. Can you imagine a long train of people with their hands around each other's waist in a big long line going up a hill? That's what's happening. SubhanAllah. All right.
Okay, we
So,
have some responses in the chat.
okay.
Let's see. We have someone thinks that it will make green.
Green. Any other responses? Someone said green. So I think green is a great answer. We got another 5 more seconds.
I predict that the colors will slide past each other on the paper towels.
Ah, nice. That's a good answer too. Wow, you guys are so smart. I love how you're thinking.
And then there's another response. We expect the empty cups to mix into orange, cup 2, green, cup 4, and purple, cup 6, because red and yellow equal orange, yellow and blue equal green, and red and blue equal purple.
Ooh, nice. Well, I will answer the question that yellow and blue do make green. So yay. So whether they'll slide against each other, you never know. That may happen. We actually, my son and I did an experiment and we had water moving up our towels and we got streaks. So some of the colors didn't mix. So that's probably because they just didn't touch each other. But when they come together, they usually end up blending and you'll get green. And I love the ideas of what you got. So what I would love for you to do is you can send to ed@thenationsmosque.org. Let me know what happens with your water when your experiment is finished, because we have a ways to go with our experiment, but it's definitely moving along. So let's keep going.
And they can send a picture to that
Yes.
email address.
Yeah, send a picture. I'm gonna try and send my picture as well so we can all share. So that's one of the great things about doing an experiment. You get to wait and think and decide and figure out what's going on, and you have to be patient. That's one of those things. It's just like the environment. We're seeing the effects of global warming, but it took time over time for us to see it. However, we did have some predictions about what would happen. Like we shouldn't be leaving plastic everywhere. That's one of those things, and we shouldn't be driving oil-fueled cars. But that's another story. So let's move on and talk about the results. We have some more questions.
One more question from
Okay.
the audience. Did you ever want to be a scientist?
Did I ever want to be a scientist? I never actually considered being a specific scientist, but I did pursue medicine and going to medical school and becoming a pediatrician. And I also have an interest in becoming an obstetrician gynecologist. But that's another goal. Alhamdulillah. I have studied a lot of science. Alhamdulillah.
And we have one more question.
All right.
Will this process work on printer paper or white construction paper also?
Oh, I love it. Oh, if it has holes in it, right? What were the rules that we talked about earlier, right? We need something solid qualifies. It can be like a tube or a material with a lot of holes. So if it meets those qualifications, there's a good chance that it will work, right? So we go back to the information that we had earlier, check it, and then try it. So that brings me to something that I have here. Where is it? At the very end, and it's not oh, there it is. Using the scientific method. Ask your question. So that was a great question. You all have had some great questions. Do some research, like the paper idea. Do research about what is paper made of. Can I do this? Then construct a hypothesis. A hypothesis is an educated guess. So you are now educated because you did your research. That's what education is: studying, finding finding information from people that have come from us before and have done work before, and then figuring out a new idea or thought or trying to solve a problem. A hypothesis is you trying to solve a problem. So your problem in this case is, can I do this with white paper or printer paper? I have my printer next to me, that's why I'm pointing to it. Then you're going to test it, and that's what we're doing right now. We're testing this idea of water walking, right? This is something someone did before. Analyze what you get at the end, take pictures, post it, and that's communicating your results, and draw a conclusion. What's your conclusion? And let me know. You can actually do those, and you can post your answers on ed at the nationsmoms.org and let us know what you came up with if you like. So in the meantime, let's go on back and talk about the results. So the results are that what you should expect to happen, because we're looking at what someone has done before, we're repeating what someone else has already done. The cup that had nothing in it should now be equally filled with the ones on either side. All right? So you should actually see the water filling up. So you can leave this up here overnight. The water should stop walking when the water is the same level next to it. Okay? So this one here, this glass right here has already lost about this much water. I've lost that much water from this. So a lot of my water is already starting to transfer into the glass next to it. Okay, so you'll see these water levels of your colored water going down. All right, and you should have like a nice pretty rainbow at the end of it. All right, so we did questions. If you have questions, you can still ask questions. Let's go on to our next presentation, the stick figure doodle brought to life with water. This was actually really big on YouTube. There was a lot of people who did this particular experiment. So I'm going to push my water glasses over without destroying my experiment, because I definitely want to see what happened. So give me a moment. You can do the same if you only have one space to work with. So I'll put them over just a little bit. Out. Okay, and move my food coloring away. Now, so what you're going to do, let's go ahead and do it. What I have here is a shiny plate. This one happens to be ceramic, or you can get a metal plate, and you need some water. So I'm going to put this on the table here. So I just filled an old water bottle with some tap water, or you can get some water, just however way your parents have it for you. And then I have my dry erase marker, Expo, that's one of the famous brands. So you're gonna take your top off. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. So let's take the top off your marker. And we're gonna draw a stick figure. If you don't know what a stick figure is, you're gonna first draw a circle. All right, it's like I'm drawing on the plate. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, I should be okay. So draw a head. So I drew several times so you can really see. I think it helps when you do the actual experiment. And then we're going to draw the body. So once again, go back and forth over it a couple of times. Then we're going to draw one arm on one side. They have long arms like me. I have really long arms. Okay, and then another arm on the other side. All right. And let's draw some legs. All right. So that's one leg on one side and one leg on the other. And if you like, you can give them little hands and little feet, you know. Okay, so there we go. All right. So you're gonna put your plate down on the flat surface. All right, hopefully you can see my stick man kind of. Okay, so grab your water and let's start. Now here is some advice for when you start to pour your water, because you're gonna slowly add your water to the plate, right? I know that's really something. So I'm gonna pour water on my plate, yes. So you're gonna slowly add water to the plate. You're gonna pour the water next to your stick figure, all right? Next to it. And you're gonna pour it slowly. As you can see on the screen, slowly add water to the plate. Be sure to pour the water next to your stick figure, not on top of it. You can also just pour a little bit at a time. Just, you know, like that. I'm gonna try and pour really slowly, continuously when I do it, okay? Because that's the key. All right, let's ready. Let's ready. Let's go ahead and do it. Start pouring. As you're pouring, you should see your doodle coming up off of the plate and floating in the, uh-oh, he lost his torso. Floating in the water. There he goes. Yes. Can everybody see that? I'm going to take a chance and move my camera. Here we go. There we go.
Oh.
Can you see him? There he is.
Um,
All right. Let's put my camera back.
and we have a hand up.
All right. What is
So
your
I'm
question?
going to ask Sister Tarika to unmute and ask her question.
Okay. I'm ready. What is your question?
Hi.
Hey there. Assalamu alaikum.
So you're in the car.
You're breaking up a little. I can't hear you. Help me out. Maybe type it in the chat. Yeah, I can't quite understand what you're saying. Can you, maybe your mom can type it in the chat box for us so we can see what you have to say? We're ready. We want to know what you have to say. And if you want, if your stick figure didn't come apart, but you can take your finger and move it around in the water. As you can see, isn't that cool? And you can even move it up and you see it becomes stringy. It's pretty cool. SubhanAllah. Next time what I'll do is I'll make my stick figure smaller so he won't be so big. Maybe that might have something to do with it.
You had another question.
Okay, did we get the question?
Okay, so the question was, how come it started floating?
All right, I love it. You ready? Let's move on to the next screen. Yes. So we watched it move. So before I tell you that, I want to tell you something about permanent markers. I know you may have seen permanent markers. People use them to make, they write on large cardboard or display boards, and the ink doesn't come off. It's called permanent or indelible, not able to be removed markers, like the kind that Sharpie, that company, makes. Those particular markers rely on ink. Ink is the stuff that we write with. They rely on inks with a strong adhesive, and adhesive is like a glue to stick to almost any surface you write on. That's why if it gets on your clothes, it's very, very, very difficult to get permanent marker ink off of your clothes. Now let's talk about our dry erase marker. So with the dry erase marker, they use inks with a minimal, that means a little bit, a minimal adhesive, a little bit of glue. So we can make notes and drawings on our dry erase boards that can be easily wiped away afterwards. So that's the difference between permanent and the dry erase marker. And that's what's going on with this. There's only a little bit of adhesive in the dry erase marker. So the ink and dry erase markers it's also insoluble. Insoluble means that it cannot be dissolved in a liquid. All right, can't be dissolved. Like when you put salt in water and you mix it up, don't you see the salt crystals disappear? If you haven't seen that, you should try it. But it means that it can't be dissolved in a liquid. And more importantly, it means it's less dense. Less dense means there's less of it. Less dense means there's not that much stuff in it. All right, so like you imagine it, one of those empty balls, you can throw it up and they're really light versus a baseball is very heavy. So the baseball is very dense and then the light plastic ball is like very light. So when you pour water onto a dry erase stick figure doodled on a smooth surface, a strong buoyancy force, because it's so light and it's insoluble, will push it up. Buoyancy, buoyancy. Does anyone know what buoyancy means? Can anyone take a guess? And you can feel free to say it or type it. But a strong buoyancy force overcomes the stickiness of the ink, pulling the doodle off the surface and causing it to not so magically float on the water. Can anyone tell me what buoyancy means?
Okay, you had one response that buoyancy is a boy named Yancey.
So that's you know what? Everybody is entitled to a good guess, and I would think so. Boy, Yancey, but not quite in this case because we're trying to think about it from the perspective of what we're seeing and what the context is, right? The context of what we just learned about with this particular dry erase marker figure. Think about it. When you pour water onto a dry erase stick figure doodled on a smooth surface, a strong buoyancy force, what is it going to do? Will overcome or become stronger, or is it stronger than the stickiness of the ink? So, do we have another one? Another answer?
Any more
Is that
guesses?
it? We do? Before I say what it is?
Okay, no more guesses.
Okay, so that buoyancy force is actually a force that can push something upward. Water can actually push things upward. That's what holds up boats in the water, because the water has a stronger buoyancy force or a force than the actual pushing down of the boat into the water. And that's what's happening with your stick figure. I hope it floated. If it didn't float, try again, because mine didn't float so well the first time. But I got it to float, so it does work. Because if you pour the water next to it, it should work, inshallah. All right, so let's move on. All right, so I want to reiterate the scientific method with you. I have a question about this doodle that came to my mind. I said, well, what if the water is hot? What will that do? Right? So I've asked a question. I can do some research about hot water versus cold water, and I can construct a hypothesis. My hypothesis would be, I think that the stick figure will still float, okay, based upon my research. So then I'll go ahead and test it, do an experiment. I'll analyze my data and draw a conclusion, and then I'll tell everybody what I came up with. I said, you know what? It really didn't work. No, it doesn't float in hot water. Or, yes, it did. It did float in hot water. And that's the scientific method. So we're all done for today. Please, please, please tell me what you get, what your results are of your walking water experiment. And if you ever got your doodle to float, because it's really cool.
Okay, you have another question.
Okay, what's your question?
So I am going to ask each of you to unmute. Tarika, you can speak now if you unmute.
Dancing! They're dancing!
Oh,
Yeah.
Who's dancing? Please talk to me. Oh, I want to know.
I don't know if they're talking.
Are we excited? Isn't it cool? Yes! I love it. Yes.
And then you had another chat in the box from Nella. She said,
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, I'm so happy. Really God, so merciful. So as you can see, our walking water is trying to create a balance. Create a balance. And once it creates a balance, it will stop walking because all of the glasses will be together in unison. If you notice that in our environment, we have a balance Allah has blessed us with. And He does throw things at us. Yeah, and throws us off balance, but we have to come back and we equilibrate ourselves. So like we have hot and cold, we have high and low, we have right and left, subhanAllah. So let's all strive for an equilibrium. Does anybody else have any other comments or questions?
there was a question. Let's see. There was a comment that they drew 4 stick figures on the plate and they all danced.
Yes. Oh, did you get video?
Tell them we're doing it for the video.
No, you don't have to do a video. It's okay. No stress. But alhamdulillah, that'd be a nice little video just for yourselves. You don't have to post anything. But that's really cool. I'm gonna try that. You know that, right? I'm going to. On the particular the video that went viral, the man drew a UFO. He drew an unidentified flying object with some little lines coming down, and he just put water on the stick figure. So the stick figure looked like it was floating up to the UFO, the man being taken away. So anyway.
And
So
you had another question.
things. Okay, what's your
I'm sorry.
question?
It was, would you ever consider starting a science club at the youth weekend school?
A science
Club.
what? A science club. Oh, mashallah. Oh, what a wonderful idea. Now, I've never thought of doing that. That's something that I would consider. Inshallah, my husband actually, Omar Abdulmalik, has created a science club. So he has a lot of experience with that. So I could talk to him about it. It's something that I would consider, inshallah. Not sure yet, but that's a wonderful idea. Alhamdulillah.
Yes. Okay. And let's see if anyone else has any questions. I've unmuted everyone, so you can ask your questions now if you'd like.
I have a question.
Okay.
So, a minute marker. I want to know how long it would take for the marker to start floating.
Oh, how long will it take for your doodle to start floating? It should start within a few seconds of starting to pour the water. So you can try it again. You know, take the clean your plate. Ask your parents to help you to clean your plate, and then draw another stick figure. And draw a small one though. Don't draw a really big. I suggest a really small one, and go for it.
Okay. And we have someone else that said thank you.
Allahu Akbar, alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Keep science in your life because it's all around you. You just can't help but be touched by it. SubhanAllah.
And I wanted to close out soon. If there are no more questions, I'm going to bring on Sister Katara. And she has a few announcements for you, but I wanted you to basically sign up for all of the activities for August. You have more science experiments, story times, and art projects. Sister Alia's son and husband will actually be doing a puppet show My daughter will be doing some origami with you, and we have various community members and students doing other things. We also have on Saturdays a teen house party game. So that's every other Saturday. You sign up for that separately. So sign up for everything. Just check it out and see what you like, because it looks like we're going to be virtual for a while. So we want to give you what you want and what you need. Let us know. Okay, Sister Katara, if you'd like to make your announcements, you can feel free.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. Can everyone hear me?
We can hear you.
They can hear me? Okay. Wasn't this fantastic? I mean, oh, our sister scientist is, whoa, whoa. And I'm definitely 100% behind having a science. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Well, just a quick teaser. I hope you've been working on your week 1 August Family Fun home activities. I'm going to give you a really quick rundown of what they are. You're supposed to be looking up 5 facts about Prophet Muhammad and share those facts by drawing a picture, telling a story, writing a poem, and we encourage you to send those to us at ed@nationsmosque.org so we can post it. The other thing, I hope you've done this already, is to bake your cookies. Get plain cookie dough and put them in the shape of the Arabic letters. They're delicious and it'll help review your Arabic. Then we'd like you to interview family members, the oldest member in your family, and ask them these 3 questions and listen very carefully to their answers. What was the most incredible thing that has happened to you? Is there something that you've always wanted to do, but you haven't done it yet? Were you ever part of a civil rights organization or protest? What was the most important thing that you learned from that experience? Then I want you to think, like Sister Alia was saying, as we're doing science, we're looking at the creation, we think. I want you to think about what your family members said. Then tell us what surprised you most, and did anything they say help you? Then we have a section on our family fun sheet called Who Am I? We get 3 clues, and next week we'll tell you the answer. One of the greatest generals the world has ever known. He was made commander of an army at age 26, and he led an army of men and elephants through the mountains of the Alps. Have fun. Look for the one for week 2, and we certainly will give you the answer to Who Am I?
All right, thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to close out now. Thank you, Sister Alia. Those were wonderful, engaging presentations. I know I learned a lot, and I hope everyone else did, and that they had fun while learning. And we're going to go ahead and close out in Surah Al-Asr. We can do this together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal Asr. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Inna alladhina amanu wa amilu solihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. Ameen. We'll see you on Saturday for house party if you're 12 to 17. And if not, we'll see you on Monday for the Artsy Mondays presentation. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alaikum assalam.